I put the CG caricature of Ron Howard going, I made this.
You updated it. That's the first time I see the thumbnail look like that. I love it. I love it when you
Yeah,
have them say something. Those are
pretty
my
cool.
favorite thumbnails.
It's all
It
right.
is.
I like that you chose old Val Kilmer to be Mad Mardigan.
I'm
Well, they're
very
both kind of
old.
older looking because Grok has a problem
Yeah.
with age. It
Yeah.
wants to make everybody older.
No, usually it makes everybody younger.
It looks
AI.
like the Iceman just donned a sword and some armor and went to battle.
Yeah.
I
On
don't.
the old version of Iceman.
So Grok is making everyone older, but the one you use for our pictures, it de-ages us dramatically.
Well, that's a different program
Yeah.
for our photos because it actually uses multiple versions of your actual face to create the new version, which is pretty spot on. Like Martin and you look perfect. The only thing it messed up with me was wrong glasses and the gap. I had to fix the gap because I have a huge fucking gaping gap.
Well, Martine looks about right, but both you and I looks way younger than we are.
So I don't know. Is anybody here? Oh, Jacob's here. I guess we actually start the show. Fuck it.
I mean, we are live.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you?
To watch the latest Pop Culture Minefield.
There are few things that compare to the genre films of the 80s. That is why Pop Culture Minefield wants to dedicate itself to a new series. Today we start that series with the best fantasy films of the 1980s.
This is how it is. Boop, boop,
Aw,
boop,
did you
doop, boop,
that?
doop, doop, boop.
Did you miss our normal song?
Yeah, you like that one. All of us
trying
do,
to-
man. It's the
I'm
bouncy
trying to-
song.
I'm trying to
is
screw
one of the
around
best.
with Gary to make him lose his mind.
If one of the best,
You
my
can't do it,
favorite-
buddy.
my
Can't
favorite
do it.
is
Cruel
the,
Mephisto. Don't make Gary
I've
bounce.
had-
See, he hurt his back.
I've had
I'm
3
an
children.
asshole. What do you want?
Yeah, but he hurt
After-
his back. He slipped on ice. So don't make
Yeah,
him
that's why
bounce, please.
I'm on a heating thing for my back right now because I went to the store and there was speaking of black, there's black ice.
I was waiting to do that joke too.
Black ice that I didn't see, and okay, I broke Mephisto.
Yeah, you did.
my God, he's turning red.
It's a pea and keel joke, and it was so goddamn good.
So I go out there and I got groceries, like just bags, like 5 or 6 bags on my left arm, my cane in my right hand, walking out to the vehicle, and I hit black ice. I slipped anywhere from about 4 to I don't know, about half a foot. And I caught myself, but when I did, I arched back and to the left. That sounds like the movie JFK. Back and to the left.
Into the left.
Back and to the left. And I felt like a blast of fire in my spine, to the left side. And I went, oh shit. I know what that was. And I made it through the night, I'm like, maybe it's not going to be so bad. And then I got up in the morning and I couldn't get up.
So you did
I
get
had
up
to
in the
roll
morning.
out of the bed. I had to roll out of the bed, which was very painful. Got my cane. I had to walk two-handed on my cane with the cane in front of me like a walker to get through the house the first day. It was really awful. And every step was just fucking nightmarish. But if I'm sitting still like this, I'm okay. But the minute I go to stand up or move or do anything, it's like, it goes, hey, remember me? Yeah, I'm still here, motherfucker.
I'm
That's
glad
what's
Lauren
going on
gave you
with
the vibrating thing, Matt, because she gave that to me. I threw out my back a week before I traveled to Gary, and let me tell you, it didn't help sitting on planes for 24 hours and traveling. But she gave it to me, and that thing is awesome.
It's amazing.
Warm,
It
and
feels
it
so good on
helps
my
your
back.
muscles to lose up. It's great. It helps. It really does.
I don't normally
The question
sit all the way back.
remains. The question remains: were there two black guys, and were they carrying a noose and wearing MAGA hats?
No, it was one black guy, and his name was Black Ice.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
Mephisto, you should go back and watch us discuss the final episode of House of the Dragon season 1. Gary
I
broke the whole
think-
panel. with
I
the
think I
black
could even
joke.
turn this a little further, though. Like, I could say it the way Keith says black cock. He doesn't say
No.
black hawk. He says black, and he does this thing in the back of his throat, cock. And it just sounds like he's saying black cock. And so I could say black ice,
Black Hawk
Black
Tua.
guys, black ice. Keith, are you even here?
Oh, I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah, you're
recording
muffling
for the
your
rest of the black guys.
Yeah,
You heard
you're
that?
also
As a
Actually
duly, as a
decided
duly
to do something.
designated representative of black guys of International Black Guys of America. I must
is that black
say
guys
that
or black ice?
yeah, that's it. And we'll be talking about this in the next meeting. So,
All right. Yeah, dudes, we can't just refer to ourselves as black guys because that sounds too much like black ice. Also, we need to ask the U.S. Department of Defense to change the name of that from Black Hawk to Black Cock.
well, let's not be too
What is it?
hasty.
BBC. Call the helicopter the BBC. So
Oh wow!
we're going to be talking about Willow, and I want to point out, like, we're watching, Anima and I are watching that documentary for the making of. There are two of them. There's one that deals with the CG, early CG, and also the other one's like the behind the scenes. They did some stupid shit in it. I remember when it aired. I remember seeing it the first time. The whole thing with making Kevin Pollak and the other dude brownies in the making of video where they're
That was
in
funny.
character. It was funny, but then I'm like, well, it's sort of like as an adult now, I'm like, I kind of wish that they had just like talked about their characters rather than pretending to be the characters in the interview. It was weird. But they kept mentioning throughout it, George Lucas would be on there talking about something, and I'd make fun of him, what he just said. You know, I was there to answer any questions or handle any situations. And then I said what he actually does is, that's right, he's backseat directing.
Yeah.
That's what George Lucas does. He backseat directed this with Ron Howard. And Ron Howard's made a point because he said a bunch of stuff about George Lucas, what he does in film. But I am autonomous. He lets me do my job. And it's like, yeah. Got you, Ron Howard. But both of them at one time or another, Mephisto, which made me chuckle, they kept saying, you know, this is a fantasy about a little person who has a big adventure. And I would say, just like Lord of the Rings.
He kept saying that, yeah. The hero who doesn't want to be a hero, and Gary goes,
Throughout the
"Just
show,
like
like
Lord of the
Lord
Rings."
of the
That's not-
Rings.
I told you, Willow is Lord of the Ring with some tweaking.
Willow
There's a
is
little
not
Star Wars
Lord
in there,
of the
too.
Ring. Yeah.
What
And
I'm
that's all I
impressed
have
with
to say about that.
for the
That's it.
scenes at Willow's village, they had to get together 120 small people, and most of them weren't even actors. And in the 80s, it wasn't that easy to get a hold of people because no mobile phones. So how they pulled that off, I don't know.
the
We
funny
called
part
it
is-
Tried this.
What?
party line, smoke signal.
No, I'll tell you exactly how you do it. They put ads out through the United
Yeah.
Kingdom, probably even all the way over into France.
Well, yeah, but
and
then
Ireland.
people react to that and give you their landline number, and then you keep trying to reach them, but they're at work, they're not home, they don't have agents and nothing. So that was impressive that they managed to get so many of them together. And according to the
And I would bet
documentary,
they started
they
early.
filmed for a week. It was just a week of filming for the village scenes, but that must have been
Hey,
great.
Ungrateful Jester,
Yeah.
what's up, man? So you would have been 11 years old when Willow came out. Awesome. I was a teenager. Actually, no, I think I was in my 20s. What year was it? I forgot.
Yeah.
88. I
88?
was 6,
88.
the year I
So I
started
was-
school.
I was
Yeah,
not.
I was 24.
And I was 15.
I'm the baby on this channel. Okay.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
she was. She wasn't. Well, she was a glint in her daddy's eye when Conan
No.
came out.
Oh,
Oh yeah, when this one came out, I was 6. I started school in that year.
Willow isn't really Dungeons and Dragons.
No,
No,
Lord of the Rings.
Not really. No.
it's
You
George Lucas basically doing fantasy stuff with a bunch of characters. It's Star Wars in fantasy.
He
in a
probably
way.
tried to do. Well, he probably did the same thing that he tried to do with Star Wars. Get the rights to Flash Gordon or Buck Rogers, either one,
Mhm.
and couldn't
Yeah.
get it because Universal had it. So he probably tried to get the rights to Lord of the Rings. Couldn't get it. He goes, well, fuck it. I'll do like I do with Star Wars and make my own. Call it
Yeah.
Willow.
Because it's not like he has ideas of his own.
Well, I mean, George just seems to have a lot of bad luck acquiring other people's things, and he's forced to actually come up with something on his own. But it was good enough to get together with Ron Howard and see what he could do, and it was good enough for him to get together with Chris Claremont and basically write the official sequel, which came out to be 3 books, an incredible trilogy. So, and again, Chris Claremont.
You know what I
just
love
like
about
that
George Lucas is he was a master at naming things.
Yeah.
It was off the cuff when he was there and he's looking at the first iteration of Admiral Akbar. And they said, and you know, the species, he says, oh, they're from the Mon Calamari. On the spot.
yeah.
His genius comes out in so many ways. I tell people all the time, he's not a creative genius, but he is creative, very creative. But what he is a marketing genius. And
big time. Well,
that's why he made those changes to Return of the Jedi that he did. Purely about marketing.
The thing about George Lucas that I think is the most important thing that probably drives everything is that technically he just shouldn't be alive. He's one of the few people that, I'm serious, he shouldn't.
What?
And Gary, you know what I mean. Anyone that has never Googled the picture of the car he was driving when he had that wreck,
the accident, yeah.
the accident.
Him and Mark
if you
Hamill
have-
both should be dead.
Yeah, and Google, George Lucas's vehicle. From the look of that thing, you have to ask yourself exactly where he was sitting, because there is hardly anything left of that car that wasn't a part of the tree that he hit. That car was
shit, I
pretty
had no
much
idea.
just merged with a tree, and everything after that accident pretty much led him to basically getting into film. And I can't tell you what he was like before, but after that, that's when we got George, at least the way that he is now. And even George will tell you in interviews, he had no real ambitions to get into filmmaking prior to that accident. So his ability to be creative, I mean, it's just an expression of everything that came after that. So those people who like to try to take his ideas and twist them, or in certain cases of the people running Lucasfilm now, just try to bypass them or get rid of them. Part of the reason why you can't do anything with his stuff correctly is because he literally is just getting it from someplace else. This is a guy who I think deep down knows and is very appreciative of every day that he's had since then, because it does.
I mean, look,
change your
I'm going to tell
perspective
you
of
something.
things.
He banged Linda Ronstadt.
Oh, geez, guys. Wow.
Just right there. That's it.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's it.
what's the greatest thing you ever did, George Lucas? Well, I banged Linda Ronstadt.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, when you see how Linda Ronstadt is one of the hottest women of rock and roll.
Yeah, but she's got terrible taste in men. I mean, she also.
I will. Hey. That's a her thing. But you know
Yeah.
what?
She
a
dated
fellow-
Jerry Brown.
I mean, half the members of the Eagles wanted to date her.
Oh yeah. Well,
And George Lucas.
If you listen
George
to
Lucas
her
got
best,
there before they did.
her best album that came out in the 70s, which included that song "You and I Travel to the Beat of a Different Drum." That's the Eagles.
Yeah.
Her backing band on that was the Eagles.
And
They were
person
like,
who wrote
after
that-
they did that, they were like, God damn, man, we sound good together. Let's make a band.
and
No
the
shit,
guy
that's
who-
actually really how it happened.
Yeah, and the person who wrote the song was a former monkey. So
The guy that wrote it. That's right, Mike Nesmith.
Yep.
Are you guys high?
No, we're just Mephisto. You just said
no.
earlier.
I'll
What
stop
did you
right
say
there.
earlier?
Linda Ronstadt is not hot.
What?
She's
She was.
No, she
I'm looking
was.
at old. I'm looking at young, hot
19,
Linda
nine-
Ronstadt.
1971 to 19.
Dude, she was.
You guys are insane or high. She is cute. She is good looking. She's not hot. No, screw that. No. You put her next to Sigourney Weaver. I'll take Sigourney Weaver any day of the week.
Oh, look
Nah.
at this. No ass. Mephisto. I worry about you, brother.
Oh, I'm good. No
You
way.
think so? You think
No
so?
way. I'm looking at
Well-
pictures, dude. I'm looking at
I am
good
too.
pictures.
Let me get this shit on here. Hold on. Share
The
screen.
French have a saying for that, you guys.
You guys are mad
You
insane.
can't argue about taste. It's different.
Linda
I know.
Ronstadt. Look at those big doe eyes. She was gorgeous, and she had a nice little ass.
Check out the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when she was being inducted, and what the members
How
of
did
the
they
Eagles
induct
had
her?
to say about her.
I'm just curious. How did they induct her?
her?
You knew you had that coming, Keith. Come on.
You have the helm. You can share my screen.
I'm just wondering, did you ever send her like a letter going, would you like to try out some BBC? Just wondering.
Well, that goes without saying. You know, I think every black man will basically put that out there.
On the BBC.
Here's your screen, Mephisto.
Just to make sure, okay? Just to make sure I got the hottest picture available in color
The
so we can
only
judge.
female singer that was hotter than her is Debbie Harry. At that
Yeah,
time.
but Debbie Harry's a slut.
I'm saying looks, not
Sorry,
not
was a slut. May she rest in peace.
Oh, did she die?
I think so.
When?
She's alive.
Oh,
Oh.
thank
She's
God.
alive?
I don't want to be in a world that she doesn't exist in.
Oh, stop it. Yeah, she's alive. She's 79 years old.
Look at this. I'm high as fuck and can confirm she's not. Okay, fucking monkey.
Hold on,
So-
wait. Okay,
No,
we're having
no,
a
she's
Linda
not
off
dead.
right now. We're having a Linda
So-
off. Okay.
Oh,
Linda Ronstadt.
Hold on. Who all is here? We got Snorts
Cam
here.
Cam
Hi,
and
Snort.
Snorty.
Cam Cam's.
Hey, Snorty.
Holy shit, Cam Cam's on time.
Wow. Mark the day in your calendars, guys.
There was a photo that I remember with her in roller skates when I was a kid.
God, that
Oh
was
my
good.
God. I mean, don't get me wrong. One of the things I was attracted to around that same time was Marianne from Gilligan's Island. I like brunettes with big doe eyes.
Okay, here you go. Oh, wait. Okay. So
Okay, have we broken
here's
Happens.
this is the photo from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony. And I think it's very appropriate because for me personally, I mean, you know, it's a good photo. It's a really good photo. If you're going to show it, show it.
Well, sh-
And you know, I just think
Share
that
it.
well, I'm trying, dude.
Don't just talk about it. Jesus Christ, that's the problem with you. You can't multitask.
He's the guy who can't multitask to save his life.
I'm serious. If you're hanging out with him, Keith has to stop to talk. He can't walk and talk.
You were the same.
He
Okay,
starts
here we
talking
go.
while he's walking. He starts tripping
How
and stumbling and walking and shit.
See, I saw that picture too.
What are you saying?
She's hot. She's not hot. She's cute. She's not disgusting.
Well, this is a taste thing because guys like Keith and I find girls that are cute and adorable, like her with big DSLs, you know.
Big
We
what?
find them hot.
I mean,
I heard Anima go, what? Because she doesn't know what DSL means.
No, I don't. Care to explain?
Would someone like to explain so I don't have to?
I don't know
Oh,
what
you're-
DSL
you're
means.
fucking
I know in
coward, Jerry.
cameras what DSL means.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's called dick sucking lips.
Oh, well,
I did not need to
I'll
know
take.
that.
Thanks for not saving me, Keith.
Young Angelina Jolie pre-operations.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I've never found attractive.
Yeah.
I don't like her. I don't like her
she
face.
was young. Look, after she made, I think, Gia, she went a little bit crazy. But if you want to look, if you want to see like prime,
Hackers.
unedited, unnothing, Angelina Jolie.
Oh.
Hackers.
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 I liked Hackers. By the way, absolutely, she was one of my crushes back in the mid 80s, early to mid 80s. Was the lead singer for the Bangles. I forget her name. Walk Like an Egyptian.
Oh yeah.
The small chick, the front singer. You mean?
Yes, the lead singer.
I'll tell you how it's she called.
And he's
Don't Google just Bangles. Put in the Bangles because if you write in Bangles, it will send you to
There you go. Thank you.
Indian
Monkey.
Bangles. Susanna Hoffs. Yeah.
Yeah, Susanna Hoff. Thank you, bro.
Hey, Parrot Head is in the house too.
Hey, Parrot Head, what's up, brother?
also a very good producer. She is Susanna Hoffs.
Always was a fan. Always was a fan. I liked the
Well,
girl
yeah.
bands of the 80s. The Bangles, the Go-Go's.
The Go-Go's were.
And I
If you
just
had
forgot
caught
their
them
name.
at the right time in their career, you would have had a shot. Like everybody had a shot.
What was the female punk band that Joan Jett was in? I forget.
Oh, that was the
'Cause that was an all-girl band.
yeah. Oh, jeez. It's not like I
know.
have a device.
I
in
mean,
front
I
of me.
got to remember back to the late 70s. Oh, man, come on.
So Willow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I
Wow.
restarted this video.
It's one of
Because
these
I wanted to
shows.
get into this. Ron Howard, you know, he did an amazing career change. He wanted to get away from the acting. Happy Days was a big turnoff for him. And he decided to start learning how to direct. And he went out there and made his first major film, Grand Theft Auto. Does anybody remember that movie? It was
Nope.
one of the early chase, crash up, bang, bang, massive car rally movies.
You know what?
It's all
I
about
just
destroying cars.
sold 2 of those this week.
Oh, hey, it's Exorcist. That's Linda Blair. No,
Jeez.
your mother sucks cock in hell.
Wow.
I loved on SNL when they twisted that with Richard Pryor. Your mother sews
Yeah.
socks in hell.
Yep.
Now, this one, of course, is your classic evil queen character. Looks something right out of Disney.
Well, if she wasn't bad, she wasn't, Morda,
Well,
which
what
is
I
a
like,
terrible,
Oh my God!
terrible name.
I like that the like Snow White's evil queen. She's just good looking.
I
But this one, she's good looking, and the more magic she uses, the more her looks fade. I really like that. She looks
Yeah,
uglier
the
and
magic
uglier as it goes
consumes
on.
her. Now, I will have loved to see the king, the now dead king. Was he a pushover or was he even more evil than her?
I like to see him as a good guy who drank himself to death because he couldn't cope otherwise, or ate
Yeah.
himself to death, something like that.
Now, one of the cool things about this film on a personal level is that the lead and one of the other leads fell in love with each other. That's Val Kilmer and Joanne Whalley. They met, fell in love. And in fact, if you watch that making of, when he's talking, he's telling you, I couldn't remember my lines. I was so enamored with her. He'd kiss her and he'd
It's
forget what he was
so
supposed to
cute.
say. And or he was saying, two ways you could take what he said. That he intentionally kept flubbing his
Yeah.
lines so he'd have to kiss her again.
That's
It's
what
one
I
or the
made
other,
of
or
it.
maybe
That's
both.
what
made.
that's what I got.
Yeah,
Because he says
it's one,
they had a
the
love
other,
scene
or
and
both.
he would kiss her and then he just wouldn't know his line anymore. And then he kind of half grins and says, I think I never got that right. And that gives it away.
And she was they were married within a year of making,
Yeah.
releasing the film, because I think that's what they said. March the next year, they
March
got married.
next year.
So I think that's fantastic, man.
Hey
And
guys,
it always bothered me he screwed that up by banging Drew Barrymore
Oh God, yeah, bad taste.
when he was
Dude.
making Batman. What?
we have Bush.
Well, look at that.
Yeah.
Our show went from the 80s back to 70s style. We got a lot of
Bush.
boots.
I hope you're home.
There you go. I hope you're doing better, buddy. We've
Yeah, I
all
hope
been
he's
keeping you in
home.
our thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, he just texted me. I got out.
Outstanding. So yeah, because he has no
Amazing.
Wi-Fi there at the hospital, so he has to be home. So this is a kind of the Moses kind of story, where she's fleeing with the baby and then she's got to hide the baby to keep the bad guys from killing her. What's her name? Laura Dannon? Was that it?
Yes,
Laura Dannon.
Laura
Yeah,
Dannon.
yeah.
And young Warwick was only 18 years old when he started in this. And I thought he did a terrific job as Willow.
He did.
Man, he looks 50.
Well, that's just dwarfism.
Yeah, I know. The thing is this, he looked 50 for at least 40 years. And only
what I wanna
now
do?
you can start to see him sort of looking like he's
Yeah,
getting older.
he's looking older now. But
There are people like that, though, not just dwarfs. It happens. with some.
Not necessarily.
I've always
I
wanted
don't
him
look-
to have a quote that said, "There are no small roles."
There are only small people.
No, just quote, "There are no small roles."
Yeah. Dude, the man
That's-
played Leprechaun, for goodness sake.
I've never seen any of those. I've seen clips from I think the first one.
I
with,
saw the first
what's her
one.
name from Friends.
Okay,
I've seen clips of it.
I've seen the first one last year, no, October of 2023, when I did literally one review each day of a horror movie, and I pick a bunch of them which are like 80s. I'm gonna say trash and some 90s trash, and the Leprechaun was the 90s trash that I've never seen before, and it's okay.
They're low budget horror films, and I tend not to be attracted to them very often. That's why I've never seen any of the Leprechaun films in whole. But I need to stop for a second because we have a very good friend, two good friends of mine. My buddy Canadian Spider-Man is here. You should join us, man. I would love to have you on the show here. And of course, my old dear friend Shirley Lavassier is here. I've known Shirley for a
Hey,
long time. She
Shirley.
actually
It's been a while.
she was my proof editor on my William Marshall website. And she actually also helped me translate it into French so that people from France could read about William Marshall, the greatest knight who ever lived. And most people don't know who the hell he is. And by the way,
wanna
Mephisto, I wrote an essay on him that got published in the official CD-ROM back in 2002 in the Tower of London. They
About
used it on their
Warwick?
official. No, about William Marshall.
Oh,
And I wrote this essay because I'm one of those people that know a lot about it. I did 20 years of research on the guy. And then they took it off the CD-ROM when they found out I was American.
What?
I'm not kidding. They were like, wait, you're American? And I'm like, yeah. Oh, well, I'm sorry. We're going to have to remove that. Because they can only have British people on that, I guess. I thought that was weird, too. I love, even the kids are dwarves. And this young little actor, the baby, makes some of the greatest expressions in this film.
Oh yeah, when Val Kilmer suggests "Give me the baby," the side eye, that was amazing.
Yeah, that side-eye look with her
She's
looking at him like,
"Sure."
what?
We have a bridge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Shirley knows.
No backdoor for this movie though.
Oh, yeah, there are no
Oh.
backdoor jokes in it, sadly.
No.
So we just
Well,
got to pick your generic.
Wait. Let me.
Open your back door, baby. Loosen your hinges, I'll show you my key.
No,
You know-
what? But it's a no.
You know he hates that video.
Yeah, I knew you would pick that.
it's fantastic or fantasy based.
It is.
Tim is here too. He's got a video coming too. Where is that one? Find that one that I just made for him.
Okay.
Military Monday, I think. They played it on
That's where
Military
you
Monday.
used it the first time, I think.
No, it's here. That's really. Here we go.
There's some pictures of civilian casualties.
Fuck you, Tim.
And that is from Conflict, a show we're going to discuss on Military Monday soon. I hope.
Also known as Konflikti in Finland.
That's a Finnish title, yeah.
Is it finished?
Oh,
It is, yeah.
Yeah, we watched the final episode. That baby is so adorable.
I wonder if
Now, they
it's
did a
boy
great
or
job
girl,
of
though.
baby casting in this. Why couldn't they do that with Outland, with the son? God damn, he was
Oh
awful.
my god, that kid was so bad.
You can find Kate Greenfield on Instagram and Tumblr. That's the young woman who was the baby in Willow.
Oh, it
She
is
is
a girl
so
then, okay.
adorable.
well, they were two. They were twins.
They always have to. They use
Yeah.
twins for babies and toddlers. They have to. Because of,
And we had always waited for a sequel to this thing, and we are still waiting for it.
Well, technically we got it, but
No,
we
There's no
didn't.
such thing. There's no such thing.
no.
Yeah,
We
doesn't
did
exist.
get it. We did get it, and then Lucasfilm decided to ignore it and go their own direction and produce something that had to be memory hold. So
you're talking about the series.
yeah, I'm talking about the books.
Oh,
As I said before, Chris Claremont, the guy from Marvel, wrote the sequel series for this. There is an actual sequel.
I know, but it's so bad that Gary doesn't allow me to watch it.
No.
No.
The
Books.
books.
Oh.
The original books that were that
Now
George
you know
Lucas-
you love books, so you should get the books.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'll tell you, a young Tony Cox is in this too. You know who
Tony
he is.
what?
Tony Cox. And oddly, he's a little Cox.
But
Did you check?
He's the black guy with freckles that was in Me, Myself, and Irene. And there's Billy Barty,
mm-hmm.
famous dwarf actor.
At least four of the actors that wound up in Time Bandits are in this film.
And excuse me, you've got I just forgot his name. Kenny Baker from Star
Mhm.
Wars was in it.
Malcolm Dixon was
Well,
is
you
in
would
it.
think that because they needed so many dwarves that it was all hands on deck, and people like that needed work for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that all these well-known actors ended up doing even a bit part in this movie, just to fill out the background.
Yeah, and one thing I want to point out, I don't know, is Jack Purvis in this one?
Yes.
Yes, he is. He plays one of the band members. Yes, he is in it. He's uncredited, but he is in it. My God, Jack Purvis was such a he was a comedian. He came up doing comedy, and he ended up in Star Wars as one of the Jawas, and it led to that funny story by Mark Hamill when he was on the Tonight Show, talking about how there was this one Jawa actor, and he didn't want to say his name, but he said his first name like 3 times in the story as Jack. It was, of course, Jack Purvis. And Jack Purvis was a prankster and a comedian. And he had, because he didn't get a chair. I don't get a chair. So he went and he found a rock and painted his name on this rock. And he would carry the rock everywhere and set it down and put a sunglasses on and put an umbrella or a parasol over top of him and sit it like he was a movie star on this rock. And he told some story about Alec Guinness meeting him on the plane the first time. And he told everybody, yeah, I met Alec Guinness. And when I looked up, he says, "Get out of the way." And everybody laughed. It was a fictional story. It didn't happen. And so Hamill plays a prank on him and told Alec Guinness. So Alec Guinness thought that was funny. So the next time he saw Jack sitting on that little rock, he started going over towards him. And finally, Jack saw him and he stood up to say something to him before he could. Alec Guinness throws his Obi-Wan Kenobi hood off and yells, "Get out of the way!" Scared the shit out of him. So, but I like Warwick Davis.
He didn't hello there him?
No. Oh, hello there. So Warwick, he posted recently his dismay that that series that we shall not talk about got put in a vault forever. And
Willowed is what they call it.
I can't understand what, and I tagged him and I reshared it and I said, "It's not your fault. It's not."
Did you give him the Robin Williams hug too?
And then I put the meme up there with Robin Williams and Matt Damon saying, "It's not your fault." And I said, "No, you're crying. I'm not crying."
Yeah.
And I don't know. He didn't block me.
Yeah.
I'm actually happy I didn't watch it for the exact reason, and it kind of ties into the conversation I had with Keith yesterday about reboots and remakes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you either have to wait for somebody to actually watch something or watch a remake or a reboot and tell you, okay, it's safe, quote unquote, safe to watch, or you can watch this. But sometimes you're like, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to enjoy this. And I'm pretty sure there's too much time that lapsed that making a reboot of something would either not be as good or they would miss the plot. Some things are just one story and done, and you don't need to know the rest.
Well, if you want to go into that, I'll just bring up Halloween. There was no reason to remake it, reboot it. And the worst part was Rob Zombie doesn't understand the irony of the first story. He doesn't understand who Michael Myers is. Being who he is ironic. Now, in the book, it explains that he was possessed by an ancient demon or evil to do what he did, but they took it out of the movie because they thought it was better that it just wasn't explainable how he became the boogeyman. And but the thing is he didn't grow up in a house with abuse and with drugs and alcohol. He grew up in a normal household of normal people, normal problems, and he became a murderer for some reason.
By the way,
good chemistry, by the way, in this film, Willow and his wife.
the actress playing Kaya is not good looking at all. It's too bad,
Kaya.
though. There are some good looking dwarfettes. She is not one of those.
Oh, his wife. Well,
Yeah.
she's cute for a dwarf.
I mean, beggars can't be choosers because you're pretty much limited on what you can get, especially in 1988. But yeah.
Now, there's a character in the film that a lot of people don't realize who he is, and he's called Kale, like one of the worst vegetables in the world.
No,
And he's sort of
not that bad.
the I hate kale. Don't even try to sell some of that shit. That's bitter. Yeah. So that's played by Pat Roach, and anybody who's a big cinephile knows who the fuck Pat Roach is.
Indiana
He's
Jones.
in every Indiana Jones film until he died. He played the big bald German that fights him on the Flying
Raiders of the
Wings
Lost Ark. Yeah.
in Raiders. In Temple of Doom, he was the big giant fucking Indian Sikh-looking dude that works for, worships Kali and manhandles the shit out of Indiana Jones and then fights him on the Rock Crusher.
And gets rock crushed too.
Yep, gets rock crushed. Then he was a German man in a tuxedo that had a fight scene with Indiana where he gets his ass handed to him twice. You actually see it at the second time. But the first time, he gets a black eye before they get on the Zeppelin. And then you see him with the German officer running towards it. That's Pat Roach. And then he knocks him out again when he recognizes him on the Zeppelin when he's wearing the ticket taker outfit. So he is in this. He plays Kale. Kale is this movie's Darth Vader. And he's a pretty good villain. I think that they should have done more with him than what they did.
Yeah. Also, Gavin O'Hillery is in this film.
Oh, yeah, the big redhead dude. Yeah.
That's, for those that don't know, Ron Howard and he go back a bit. Gavin...
there were two gingers in Hollywood with no souls.
Gavin and he met on the set of Happy Days because Gavin had been cast as his older brother, Chuck. That's Chuck, the mysterious child who disappeared.
Brother that disappears after the first season. He's been in a lot of stuff. He was kind of one of the lower level villains in Superman 3.
Yeah. His father's an incredible character actor.
With that O'Hellra, it's most likely the guy from
Last Starfighter,
RoboCop, and RoboCop,
and RoboCop. But Gavin was let's see. I didn't know he had passed away. Wow, I thought he was still alive. He was 62.
He died recently, didn't he?
Actually, in 2021.
Yeah, recently means within the last 10 years.
But his father is Dan O'Hillery, and an incredible character actor. But
he played the alien navigator on the Starfighter with the main character, who's the pilot, and then of course he was the head of OCP.
Yeah,
in RoboCop.
Yep,
I'm done with OCP. Yeah, you know me.
I didn't think you heard that. But he was
actually movies. What's up, man? Good to see you. And of course, our dear friend D-Bud Martin is here too. Broccoli is a deadly poison. Even warns you with its terrible taste. It makes some people very fatty.
Wow.
Brad Williams mentioned Warwick in his comedy act.
Well, if you don't know, Brad Williams is a dwarf himself. So,
hey, that's Wolfgang is here with a comment,
and he calls me the largest peck.
Ethan,
peck,
or Gregory. Obviously, Gregory, because I like Ethan, but can't act. At least
He's a
Spock.
terrible Spock.
He's a terrible Spock. Who's also dyslexic. That's another reason why.
Guys. He likes science.
Jeez. Yeah, but Spock is not dyslexic.
My God.
Yeah, you
I
wouldn't have
like
anybody
science.
working a bridge with dyslexia.
Oh, wow. Kurtzman Trek
Too
still
much
sucks.
important role in reading and writing on when you work on a bridge crew. So yeah, they're a stupid show. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of all the shit they did that's stupid. I love Val Kilmer in this movie. It was one of my favorite roles that he ever played. And
Yep.
I love pretty much all of his movies. And, you know, right when he's having a heroic moment, he falls on his ass. That was funny as shit. You know, where he flips the sword.
Yeah.
He still catches it,
Yeah.
Yep.
but falls on his ass. Man, that's fucking cool. And that's a trademark of his, that he flips something with his hands, does hand tricks all the time. If people didn't know that, he's got really good manual dexterity. And in like real genius, my favorite thing he did there is two-handed coin roll, rolling coins over his knuckles and catching it and rolling it again over and over. That was fucking cool.
Wasn't a stunt guy that did that?
No,
Okay.
I would not argue with that at all. Although I would say that I have my favorites, but I would put that up there. It's in my top 10 list.
It's not even close to my top 50.
It's one of my favorite
There he is.
80s movies.
That's a Hellrahi right there.
Yep. Gavin.
This film so deserved a sequel, and they just never got it. Except in book form.
Again, why do you think it deserved a sequel? I thought it was a complete story. You can always go on with it. There's always ways
the
to
world
go on
building
with it.
thing. That's it. It's
Yeah,
the world
yeah.
building. And it's such a fascinating world that they created here that I wanted to see more from it.
Okay.
Again, it's something that when it came to writing the sequels that they had, the trilogy, I think it's just an aspect of being a fan of fantasy, especially in the 80s. Fantasy books often just became trilogies, and a lot of that is because of Tolkien.
I would like to see a sequel that shows us Willow as a mage.
Yeah, where he's actually going to learn to be a mage and becoming one.
Yeah.
Isn't that Harry Potter?
No,
Well,
that
he's
was
in Harry
after.
Potter.
That was after. He was a teacher in the,
Yeah, he was a teacher in Harry Potter.
he was a teacher. He had two roles in that
What?
franchise. A teacher. Yes, he was.
Yes.
He worked in the bank, I think.
Yes,
Oh.
he was both
A goblin and a teacher.
the goblin grip hook
Yes.
He was
in
Grip
the first one
right.
and the third and the last one. I don't remember which part, or maybe
I
two
just-
parts.
He was
I
the
have
teacher that
seen
led
Willow.
the he did the choir thing. He was a teacher that whenever they had a choir he was conducting.
No.
and
He was the enchanting. He was Flitwick.
Flitwick. Yeah, thanks so much.
Flitwick as
Oh.
the teacher, as enchantment teacher, and he was Grip Hook, the goblin.
By the way, welcome, 11 Alpha. Good to see you, man.
What's up,
And
11?
Gambit, 1987 is here.
Mike Gambit.
Yeah, I've stated before,
I-
Gambit. That series is so
I
bad,
s-
Gary doesn't allow me to watch it.
I watched the making of video and the or behind the scenes video they made for it, and then I saw the trailer and I said, "Yeah, I'm out."
Yep.
They've destroyed the concept.
Well, they
went
decided to
for socio-political stuff.
They decided to ignore the sequel that George Lucas came up with. And so that's really all you need to know.
Yep.
And that's the second time that Disney does that.
It's
For
Kennedy.
Won't be
George,
the last.
for George
And
Lucas.
Kennedy was allowed to do that by what's his name?
Iger.
At Disney. Iger. I got 20 minutes into it and I had to stop. I got emotional. I got too emotional watching it.
What, the show?
The
No,
documentary. The documentary Val that talks about Val's life. His son narrates it. It's really good. I only get 20 minutes into it and I had to stop. Because some things
I
just get
still
to me.
need to watch the Christopher Reeves one that came out a few
Oh, that
months
was
ago.
very good.
I know.
It got a little political in the third act, but yeah, it was a very good documentary. By the way, I stopped here for a second because I want you to realize you have something smaller than dwarves in this, and the
Yeah.
dwarves are being hassled by something smaller than them. I just think that's
The
funny.
6-inch people.
The brownies.
I don't remember
The
who mentioned Dungeons and Dragons.
That was Monkey.
Monkey Jeeves.
Monkey Jeeves. If you dive into the world of Dungeons and Dragons, there are creatures that are smaller than halflings, and dwarves. They're not really dwarves; they're called halflings. In terms of if you compare the actual size, because dwarves are a little bit bigger and stockier. They're practically a head above these guys.
Yeah.
If you're in the Dungeons and Dragons world. And there are pixies and I don't remember the name in English, but small little devils that are comparable to the brownies that are even smaller, and they're mostly peskier. No, not Lalafels. Lalafels is Final Fantasy halflings. It's a different thing. But yeah, it is kind of strange that they have sort of that Gulliver's Journeys kind of thing to them.
Yeah,
where
where
they tie them
get tied down by the
as
the
if they were
Lilliputians.
this big Gulliver kind of a thing. And
Yeah.
I found it really funny. And
That's
this
why I
is,
laugh at it. I think it's hilarious because they're not Gulliver at all. They're small, diminutive people too. I paused it here
actually
for a
shows-
reason.
Wait. It actually shows the depth of thinking of whoever created that moment, whether it came from Lucas or Howard. It's their imagery that comes to mind to show it
Right.
like that.
It's visual irony. Now I wanted to point out how they shot this. I can't remember what she is. What is she? A fairy? I can't remember, the fairy queen or some shit like that. She's filmed on a black background so they could overlight her, and that's how you get this thing. Plus, on top of that, she delivered her lines more quickly because they slowed her down so that everything would look like she's like floating in water the way she moves around. And I really thought this is a great effect in the film, and she looked fantastic.
She's gorgeous.
But she's so overlit. See how she's overlit? They wanted to give her that look, and it works perfectly.
That's to make her harder to see. And also the light was like getting stronger and then getting weaker to make her seem translucent. Hold on, there was a
I
comment.
think Peter Jackson was inspired by that imagery when he created the first time you see Galadriel, she's overly lit as well.
A lot of that was born out of the drawings that he grew up seeing for a lot of the covers of the books. you know, and ended up hiring the two artists that were who basically made their careers drawing a lot of the images for
Hildebrands.
Yeah, no, he didn't hire the Hildebrands. I wish he had.
I love the Hildebrands.
He ended up hiring two other artists who ended up, one of them ended up just staying with him for all the movies that he would do for Middle Earth. And these guys were really, really good. And in my opinion, they are part of that unsung group of people who basically helped those films have a particular look. And when you look at their artwork, you can definitely tell why Jackson used them. So I think
this film is so reminiscent of J.R.R. Tolkien.
Mm-hmm.
And Anima was chuckling every single time I would shit on George Lucas or Ron Howard with this original idea that came from J.R.R. Tolkien.
Well,
but
you can say
Kevin Pollak, by the way,
D&D.
Yeah, well, yes, D&D owes itself to Tolkien, but there's the brownies are neat, and you have these two characters in this film that are played by Kevin Pollak and Rick Overton. Now, most people go, Rick Overton, that name sounds so familiar. Where do I know it? And most people know him from his stand-up comedy, but they also know him from the Bill and Ted TV series, because he took over the George Carlin part for the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew there was a TV series.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and I love that Kevin Pollak has the most annoying French accent in this.
Well, they are the comic relief of the movie.
They are. They absolutely are.
And they work so well because they're annoying and funny and always getting in the way. So they serve their purpose.
And they overinflate their importance to everything.
Because they are Merry and Pippin.
Or R2-D2 and C-3PO.
Oh, even better.
Oh, that was awesome. The guy in love with the cat.
What's not to love about cats?
Yeah, but in his case, the cat is gonna eat him.
Yeah, I know. By the way, that's one of the jokes my favorite colleague used to make. He keeps bumping into me because his eyesight is bad. And I just keep forgetting to move out of the way quicker than you would for a normal person. And usually he says, when we're in front of customers, he says, how can you be so small and all the time you're in my way? People like that. Part of our comedy.
Oh, this is great when he's pretending to be a woman.
Oh, I love that. I love that part. That's my second favorite part of the movie. My favorite part is when he's under that spell and completely in love with her, and she's like, what the fuck, all the time.
Oh, yeah, the brownies sprinkle him with the love dust.
The broken heart dust.
Yes. That is so funny.
They even put mascara under his eyes there.
Of course. That was probably his idea. He had way too much fun doing stuff like that.
You're beautiful. Guy wants to put the make on her. It's like, it's Val Kilmer. It's like, that's a dude.
Yep. Like History of the World. Which one is not a... Oh, sorry.
I've brought you these 15. These 10
commandments.
Oh, yeah, the third tablet breaks. Drops. It was funny. Now I'm going to point out too that one of the cool things they did for the visual effects, This is an early stage experiment of how they did the blue screen for the brownies with tracking. But the other thing they did is right here, that is a giant set. They're inside the wagon and they built a large mock-up of it where they had to move around those giant barrels. And they're just regular sized barrels to everyone else.
Like Land of the Giants.
I love that show. So he sent me something, so I got to go open.
Oh, he blew up the group. It was like message after message.
I'm assuming he sent me something private, so I'm going to bed.
No. I just had one of the groups explode with images the parrot had posted.
I think one of the best large scale things they do here is blades of grass. They really look like blades of grass.
Gary, whatever you just started, you need to stop it because you're roboting.
Yeah, I'm lagging right now. This is why I don't open up Messenger and stuff while I'm doing a show. That's why
it's time for
probably should message me before the show or after.
It's time for a PC upgrade.
Reinstallation is all that
That's
you
the
need.
internet.
You don't have to buy a new computer. Just buy.
If only I had the money for it.
I know.
You just need to
an
reinstall.
extra sticks of RAM. It'll help out a lot.
Well, it's a laptop, so.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's.
Are you running the show from a laptop?
It's some serious laptop,
Yeah.
my friend. It has an RTX and everything.
I would burn that laptop to the ground. I hate laptops so much.
Welcome to the club.
All I have.
I
Same.
know.
Okay, I saw what you
I'm
said.
not trying to flex. I'm just saying.
I do like the one meme where it's got Willow with his hands up in the air and he says, "I'm so wasted. Who wants to drive me home?" And then Val, as Doc Holliday, goes, "I'm your Huckleberry." And then Willow looks all excited and goes, "You are great." I like that.
I love Sander Hammers like Windows 11 sucks. We know, dude. We know. It's like you thought.
Oh,
10
absolutely.
sucks.
I despise
Well,
it.
get this. Yeah, Windows 11 sucks. I have my button on this PC. I have the button on we're stopping Windows 10 updates. Please go to 11. I'm not pressing that button. I'm going to have to, but I'm not pressing that button.
My favorite version of Windows was Windows NT. The only problem was you couldn't run Photoshop on it.
Windows 7 is the best.
Windows
That's a major
7 is the
problem
best.
for you.
Best,
Yep.
cleanest. I mean, XP was good, but Windows 7
Well,
was
Windows
a good
7 was
medium
based
between.
on NT, as I recall.
Yep. XP started being the one not workstation based on NT. The first one was XP, yes, but NT was fully. I mean, Windows 7 was fully NT.
Yeah. When I worked for iFleet back in the early 2000s, man, my NT 7, NT settings was just great. I would have to switch out of it though if I needed to go into Photoshop. It worked well with Corel. Corel worked great with NT, but it did not like Photoshop.
Dude, Keith, I see you have to go.
Oh, you got to go, Keith? Got to go do black guy stuff?
Gotta go do black guy stuff.
All right, brother. Anything you want to add to the show before you go? Any special sauce?
Just if you've not seen the artwork of Alan Lee and John Howe, check those out. I think they were very instrumental in inspiring a lot of different stuff, especially the Lord of the Rings films. Those two artists inspired Peter Jackson when he was growing up, and he hired both of them specifically for the movies. Other than that,
That's fantastic, man. That's fantastic.
you guys have
All
a
right,
good one.
easy, brother. We'll see you later.
You got it. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, XP was very stable because it was also based on NT. Any of the systems based on NT were always stable. But Windows 11, I've never gotten a blue screen to death, but I've had it lock up on me. And that pisses me off more than any, especially if I'm doing graphics or music editing or video editing. But I stopped here because that's actor Pat Roach that I was talking about earlier that played the big German in Raiders that Indy had to fight.
Yeah,
Really,
big-
he was an unsung hero of movies, been around, worked in the Hammer movies. Guy's been around a while, dude. Great actor. It was sad when we lost him.
They gave him a big prosthetic forehead.
Yeah, for this character, made him look very Cro-Magnon.
Yep.
And by the way, the actress playing, so people don't get confused, Bev Morta is Jean Marsh, man. What a classic. One of my favorite movies with her was Frenzy by Alfred Hitchcock. What a great movie. Plus, she was on Doctor Who, if you guys didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, she played multiple characters, as I recall, but Sarah Kingdom was a character that she played regularly. Am I not right? I don't like their updates. And I get pissed when I have to do updates because every single time they update, something goes wrong with my computer. Every time.
Yeah. Welcome to the club.
You said she's dead? She's not.
Oh,
no, she's not.
I didn't say she was dead.
Oh.
Yeah, I never
reason.
said anything. No. But she's just
90 years old.
She was a great actress, is what I said. So you might have gotten that I was saying she's dead. No.
Yeah, when you're saying she was a great actress.
I think, I wouldn't know for sure, but I think she was in the series.
She was. But I don't know if it was like actively today or through archival footage is what I imagine. Because she was killed, as I recall, in the movie. It is my third favorite.
No, technically, but more than doesn't die. She gets transported to the same dimension that she was trying to send Elora Danan.
So I don't know. Having not watched the show, I don't know if it's archival or what.
No. I mean, in this movie.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying I don't know what happened to her. And Val, one of the first films where he's like not blonde, he had to dye his hair. This is the kind of shit I'm talking about. They look great running around, and I want to see it in 4K. I want to see if I can start seeing matte lines around them.
I'm guessing they touched them up when they did the conversion to 4K.
I hope so, because they can clean up those matte lines today.
Yeah, I mean, I can pull it up.
That's what she said.
I'll try to find it.
Well, we need to take a momentary break to talk about something anyway. I'm not making the big announcement. I'm going to be doing a press release and everything for my new album. CD Baby has released it on most of your major streaming services for music. I don't know why it took them. It almost took them 10 days. It's never taken them that long previously. I thought I'd share. Because I shared the links earlier for Martin to share out. Share screen.
Okay. What link do you want to share? Oh.
So this is the this is over on Spotify. It is available over there on Spotify. You can sample music and purchase the album, download the individual songs, blah, blah, blah. Same thing with iTunes. iTunes gives you, I think, a whole minute sample of the song. And I've already got the first review
With
in.
the intricacies required to find my way to your heart.
And that was by New York Times bestselling author John M. Del Vecchio, who I've known for about 20 years. And we worked together, had a business together, but we've gone our separate ways. But he stays in touch with me. And I asked him to review some of the music from the album. And he said it was, very moving what I did with this music. And I got to tell you, my response to him was, this is the single most emotionally exhausting and draining project I've ever done for music. But at the same time, it was also the single most cathartic thing I ever did, because I felt like I purged a lot of dark shit out of me. And I'm not talking about that tarry kind. It's a lot of songs with heavy subjects that deal with crap. Every single song is personal. There's no, I don't write frivolous songs. Everything has a meaning, everything I write. And that's Spotify right there. That's the link there. Or you can go check it out over on iTunes. I think I got to be honest, Spotify is so huge, but I think Apple did a better job for sampling and releasing music on. And I make more money, honestly, off of iTunes for a reason. I think there are more people. A lot of Southern European people, Northern Africa, like Morocco, Spain, Italy, Portugal. They listen, France too. They listen to my music there for some reason. Also in Ireland, a lot of followers in Ireland. And according to CD Baby, I also have a large following in the Near East, not the Far East, but the Near East. But nothing in Israel, and I don't know why. What is up with that, Mephisto?
I cannot comment. I don't know.
I'm just teasing. I don't know.
Don't ask
I
me.
have
Don't
no
ask me
clue.
the tough questions. Never ask me tough questions, dude. I will have equally yet honest answers.
Yeah, I haven't even made mine available yet, John, for hard copies. Mike wants to buy a copy. Mike Barron. He's like asking for it. And I said, I haven't even designed that yet. I don't, because I got to be honest, it took a while to get rid of the last CD I did back in 2007. And I'm like, it seemed like people were just drawn to digital music. But he said that I should do it because he said there are more people coming back to wanting LPs and an actual CD in a jewel case with artwork. So I've even considered doing an LP, but the problem is if I do an LP, it'll be a lot less songs on that album, or it'll be a 2 album set, and that's super expensive. Because there's 27 songs on this album. That's a lot of fucking music. And there's no short songs in it. Almost every song is over 4 minutes. A few of them between 5 and 6 minutes.
You never meant to make so many songs for that album, though. You started with like 20, and you just kept pumping out more songs. Like every night you wrote a new one.
Yeah, it takes me, oddly, about 10 minutes to come up with the lyrics or the chords for the song. And then I just do a basic layer of music, and then I upload it and begin producing it online. That way I'm not making a lot of noise here. I produce music very quietly. Nothing outside of my headset. Back in the old days, man, you'd hear me thumping on some drums, fucking hitting on a piano with a mic. Don't have to do that shit anymore. So, but there you go, guys. That's it. So we can get back to it. And what are you sharing there, Mephisto? Is that the 4K? Is he sharing the 4K, Martin? Does anybody know?
No. How could I know what he's sharing?
That's what he's sharing. Okay, so let me make it large.
And on that, you don't go freezing, Martin.
They
What's wrong
cleaned
with
it
you?
up. They cleaned it up. He's showing it. There's no matte lines around him. Is anybody seeing this? I'm alone. Am I here?
Yeah.
Is it just
No,
me?
I'm here.
Did everybody leave the show? Okay,
No,
nobody
but
was
we-
responding to me, so I didn't know what was going on.
This guy.
That's why we have a panel, so I can have people like responding to me when I
Stop
say stuff.
panicking. Breathe. Jesus.
I'm not panicking. It's just
Yeah.
like it's weird when nobody responds when I say something. So you can see that they cleaned up the matte lines around them. You guys can see it, right? Okay. That's what he wanted to show.
That looks great.
Thank you, Alpha.
He knows you.
Nobody knows me if they think that.
You
But I
can
get
be
it.
on the show, John. Just saying.
If you share my screen,
We did.
there's a
We're
there's
I already did.
Oh,
I
you
showed it
did?
and talked about it.
Okay.
You can see that they cleaned up the lines. It's a lot better.
Yeah. That's the only one I can find like off the cuff. I likes my coffee like I likes my men, black.
I don't know what the fuck that
I don't
is.
judge.
It's from Airplane.
Yeah,
It's the
Gary has
two
his own
kids.
version of that.
Gary didn't see the good version.
No, he has his own
What are we talking
version.
about?
The coffee joke he just made. or
It's the
announcement.
coffee joke from Airplane.
Oh yeah, I love that movie. I like that joke.
Yeah.
I like my
Yeah, but
men
you-
like I like my coffee.
Yeah, black.
The
Yeah, but
fucking
you have your own
12-year-old girl
version of
says that.
Gary.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this.
Sorsha. I like that actress. She hasn't done too many things. But I only discovered she's British way further down the line.
I got to be honest. I never saw that as a pedo joke. I saw that as just letting this
It's-
kid know I'm outside your league. Is really what that joke was about.
It's
Don't even
not the whole no. The whole point is the fact that it's two 12-year-olds, but they're having a conversation as if they're
Adults.
30-year-olds, which puts the impact on what she says real hard. It's not about it. It is a sexual joke, but it's not about the sexual stuff. It's the fact that
As a kid,
they're
It's not
young and they're
sexualizing
having
the kid.
an adult conversation. So it's a fucking great joke. In a movie where almost every joke is trying to pull you to a different direction. That's why the movie's so good. Can't believe my co-host hates that movie so much.
Oh boy.
11 Alpha. When I worked for iFleet down in Georgia, we had an all black girl call center, and I go in there all the time. And
That's what I
I'd
was
bring 'em
waiting for,
coffee.
Gary.
I'd bring them coffee, and they said, someday we're going to have to bring you coffee, Gary. They would call me Gurry, and said, how do you take your coffee? I said, I take my coffee like I take my women, black with a little bit of cream in it. And you would always hear someone in the back go, "Oh, Gary, you're so crazy."
Oh, Gary, you're so crazy.
It sounds better when black girls say it. It's like,
I
there's something
know.
cute about it. Peter Dinklage didn't appear on screen until 1985 with his debut comedy "Living in Oblivion" for the first time. Yeah, it's true.
Where he is still living in oblivion.
You know, I liked him until he opened his fucking mouth and started saying stupid shit.
Political, I guess.
Yeah, it's sociopolitical stuff.
It's not even
Not
political.
political. It's sociopolitical.
Yeah.
It deals with identity politics, and I'm like, fuck off, dude. And he's the reason that everything got screwed up with Snow White. That's where it all began, with his fucking mouth.
That was him? Screwing it
He
up?
started the anti-dwarf shit.
Oh, God.
Costing a lot of dwarf actors jobs. He hurt their careers.
It's gonna come back around. Don't worry.
What an idiot.
Well,
It's
those
gonna
guys
come
don't
back
like
around
Peter
'cause-
Dinklage now. I hope so.
And to be fair, Game of Thrones did put a dwarf on the map when it comes to, you know,
Yeah.
if
There's
you are
the
going to
dust.
deal with, the dust. If you are going to deal with that sort of shit, it's the perfect thing because he does play a villain, but nobody understands he's a villain because he's so good. Man, I love those books. I can't believe we're not going to get any continuation of them.
It is. Warwick Davis played Wicket, the Ewok, and he was an energetic young man. Did a great job as Wicket, even though I hate Ewoks. Not a fan.
Do we know if he had a house in the Palisades?
Well,
Who?
he's British. He lives in London.
Peter
Are you talking about
Dinklage.
Warwick?
I
Yeah,
don't-
he lives. I think he lives in not London proper. I think he lives on the outskirts, and it's called something else.
Don't they
like
all have a
Slough
house
and
in
all that.
LA? For when they filmed there?
Well, Mel Gibson had a house in LA. It's not there
Yeah,
anymore.
him and James Woods, man, gone.
Yeah. James Woods. I feel sorry for Billy Crystal. Billy Crystal lived there for 46 years. So it's not like he's one of those nouveau rich kind of guys where he
Right.
bought it like 20 years ago, around 2000s. He was living there forever.
I feel sorry for everyone who lost their house or are
Yeah.
losing their houses now, but it's so wrong that the celebrities and Hollywood stars are getting all the limelight instead of, like, I don't know, getting the focus on the people who don't have the funds to rebuild.
But
Probably end up on the
it's
streets
always
even.
like that. But it's always
know.
like that.
But
I
at
just
least
hope
the
that
celebrities should use that to collect funds or whatever, because they don't need help, but they can raise funds to help those who don't have a voice.
look,
Yeah, but we've seen that go
I
wrong
believe-
too with Hawaii.
I believe that because it hit celebrities, it would help facilitate the rebuilding a little bit quicker for everybody else. I hope that'll happen, but you know, I'm pretty pessimistic when it comes to those things. But let's stick to the movie.
Are you
but-
trolling me, Gambit?
Maybe.
I feel like he's trolling us right here. It's like, yes, we know the film. It's called Return of the Jedi.
No, he
Well,
means
you're allowed
the
to say
sequel
that
to
one.
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, Wicket, you got it. You got it, brother.
Whip it good.
So, dude, totally. I have that movie. And when I saw that trailer, I, like millions of other people, thought it was a fucking joke, like an April Fool's joke, that it's not a real movie. When they have fucking Gary Oldman playing a dwarf in the movie, they gave him a giant head and everything. And I saw this thing and I'm laughing at this trailer, going, this can't be fucking real. This cannot be fucking real. And then the announcer, you know, the voiceover, and starring Gary Oldman in the role of a lifetime. And I fucking went into hysterical laughter. Like, what the fuck is going on? It's a real movie. it's a no shit real movie with a real cast, top notch cast, and nobody went to see this thing because the concept is just a terrible concept. It's like a family, and I don't know. I've not seen the movie, so I don't know. I can't tell you anything about it. But yeah, I do want to review it for this channel.
Oh, it's filled with celebrities left and right. It's one of those movies where you kind of know, well, the budget is really low. That means everybody did it for scale just to do it because they liked the script or something. But yeah, it's a 2003
Wait a minute,
movie.
are you telling me Gary Oldman's in this? Yeah, he's got the lead character. All right, I'm in.
Peter
Everybody
Dinklage
gets suckered into it because of one actor.
Yeah, Peter Dinklage, I think, plays. So Matthew McConaughey is the main dude, and he's a regular guy, but his parents are dwarves. And I think Peter Dinklage is his brother or his cousin. I don't remember which one it was, but he's in this, and he's an obnoxious kind of a guy. And I was like, that's really interesting because this is 2000.
That way he doesn't have to act. He just plays himself.
Yeah.
So, no small roles.
Only idiot people.
That's right. So I paused for a second because this is a great scene. He just got splashed in the face with that pixie magic love potion dust. And so now he's got to go in there and they're looking for Laura Dannon. They got to get her back. And he goes into Sorsha's. I don't know if it's Sorsha or Sasha. I can't remember. Sorsha's tent. And he's madly in love with her all of a sudden. And he can't control himself. He should go in there and just do what he's supposed to do, but he can't get it done. And instead, she puts a knife up to his throat. He says, I would rather die than not be able to have this love I have for you.
He goes all poetic and romantic. And
it's so fucking funny. I love this scene.
The best part is he has no memory of this when the magic wears off. None at all.
Yeah, I love the part where he goes, what's going on? I hate her. Why?
Yeah. He doesn't know. Is she being real or are they all bullshitting me? How can I have done this and have no memory? It's funny as fuck.
So again, Mikey is here, by the way.
Yeah, in the chat, not on the panel.
Yeah, for some reason he's not on the show. Dick.
Yeah, right?
Buddy. So there she is. He's talking about the moon and the sun, comparing her to the moon and sun. She doesn't know what's going on. Like, wait, what's going on here? I worship you. I worship you in my arms.
He also woke her up, so by barging in there. It's a huge what the fuck moment for her.
And like I said, the funniest part of this is they fell in love with each other. And they're still friends in real life. It's kind of sad, though, that, with what happened to him with the cancer, he lost his ability to speak.
That's heartbreaking.
Well, he's a Christian scientist, and they don't believe in using modern medicine. There we go. This is when he's doing all this knocking people down, cutting his way through them. And then, and Willow goes, he really is a hero. And he looks back at him, smiles, and flips the sword and then slips and fucking falls catching the sword. I'm like, I don't know if that was on purpose, but that was fucking wonderful.
That could be one of the things that happened and they kept it in because it worked.
And of course, she's a ginger, by the way. In the movie.
What does that mean? Do you want to tell us anything?
I mean, she's so fucking gorgeous.
Oh.
You already know you are my kryptonite.
That means that Ron Howard likes also,
Gingers. His daughter. Good God. Jump back, kiss myself. She is one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen.
Even in Argyle?
You know what? She's just Rubenesque in that. Yeah, I think that she's still gorgeous.
I think she just ate
I like
too
women
much
that are
for that
a
role.
little.
That's it. a little bit too much.
she just let herself go a little much, but I still think she's beautiful. And
No, I think she did it on purpose. I'm not.
Oh, I
I'm
do
pretty
too.
sure she did it on purpose.
She's back to normal size.
Yeah, Amy Adams did the same. Amy Adams does not have a fat lady's build. Some people have a fat person's build because of genetics.
And it usually shows by the neck and their shape of their face.
Exactly. Amy Adams just did a role. I think it's something to do with bitch, hey bitch, my bitch, something like that.
No, night bitch.
Night bitch. Where
okay, who said it first?
Because
I thought I said it first on my screen.
I think she's turning into a dog or has an episode. Anyway, she got fat for the role, and it shows that it kind of looks weird on her, like she's wearing a fat suit, but she's not. She actually did fill up for the role. I haven't seen a recent picture of her, but I'm pretty sure that she got it all down.
Yeah, unlike that movie that we saw, Shallow Hal, where she had to wear a fat suit.
Fat.
Well, she had to because she had to go from looking thin to fat within one scene. Because the way he saw her, he just saw her as beautiful and thin, when in fact she was very big, importantly.
Yeah.
Which led to that funny moment at the end where he tries to pick her up.
Yeah. I think that she couldn't do that for real because it would be like health risking.
And she's so weird. She's really fucking weird too.
It's always a health risk to pull extreme stunts on your weight.
Of weight loss or weight gain.
Yeah.
So this is the moment where he gets confronted by, you were shouting out poetry. Poetry? Me?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Oh, we have the sled scene coming up, right? Where they go down the hill.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they did that, by the way.
Yeah, I forgot what's his name. The guy who plays Willow. He talks about that in the making of. So he
scared the shit out of him.
They're both on the sleigh, and a dude on skis is pulling the sleigh, and then all of a sudden he goes off. So it's just the sleigh going downhill. And in his words, he said, "This is when the acting stopped and the fear became real." The acting just went away, and they had to do it like 14 times, and it wasn't fun for him. It looked fun though. I was like, I thought it was fun to film that, but I guess he was just scared. And they were strapped to the sleigh, of course.
Now, I do want to bring up once again that the importance of budget versus box office, because the reason why this film should have had a sequel was based solely off of its success in the theater. And I know it was also very successful in the home video market.
Yeah, home video was big for Willow. Big.
But they made 4 times the budget at the box office. So they absolutely did bring money in with this. And I love the soundtrack in this thing. Everything about this damn movie is so
the music
damn
reminds
enjoyable.
me so much of Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
It has that feel.
So I'm going to read some facts about it here too. Principal photography began on April 2nd, not April Fool's Day, April 2nd, 1987, and ended the following October. Interior footage, now most shoots are usually 10 weeks, so that's a long shoot. Interior footage took place at Elstree Studios in Hertfordshire, England, while location shooting took place in Dinnerwick Quarry, Wales, as well as in New Zealand. Lucas initially visualized shooting the film similarly to the way he did Return of the Jedi, with studio scenes inside over at Elstree and then going to Northern California, but the idea eventually faded. However, some exteriors were done around Skywalker Ranch and on location at Bernie Falls near Mount Shasta, which is in Northern California. A lot of UFO activity in that area, if you guys didn't know that. So let's see. Mount Shasta. The Chinese government refused Lucas the chance for a brief location shoot. He then sent a group of photographers to South China to photograph specific scenery, which was then used for background plates with the blue screen. Tongariro National Park in New Zealand was chosen to house Bavmorda's castle because there's apparently a lot of black sand there in ash.
3 continents, guys. 3 continents. Lucas sure knows or knew how to blow money.
And the film used Industrial Light and Magic, of course, which was a company that Lucasfilm created. They created the effects and animation sequences. The script called for Willow to restore Finn Raziel, Patricia Hayes, from a goat to her human form. Willow recites what he thinks is the appropriate spell in order to try to bring her back to normal. ILM visual effects supervisor Dennis Murin, a hero of mine, considered using CGI stop motion animation for the scene. He also explained that another tradition and practical effect of the late 80s to execute this sequence would have been through the use of optical dissolve and cutaways at various stages. Murin found both stop motion and optical effects to be too technically challenging and decided that the transformation scene would be performed a perfect opportunity for ILM to create advanced digital morphing technology. And this is where it was created, this movie. And it would be used in, we know, 2 Michael Jackson videos. And was it Man in the Mirror? Was that the one I'm thinking about? Or the morphing where he shakes his head and becomes somebody else, shakes his head.
Black and white wasn't?
That's
Black
black
and
and
white.
white.
Black and white. And the other one was the one he did
It's
with Eddie
Remember
Murphy.
the Time.
Yeah, Remember the Time. Good song, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that song. So anyway, Murin found both stop motion effects, and he was the one who headed up them developing the digital morphing technology. He proposed filming each animal and the actress doubling for Hayes and then feeding the images into a computer program developed by Doug Smythe. The program would then create a smooth transition from one into the other. Smythe began development of the necessary software in September of '87. By March of '88, Murin and fellow designer David Allen achieved what would represent the breakthrough of computer-generated imagery. The techniques developed for this sequence were later utilized for Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and that's where you see the villain drink from the wrong cup, and it begins to age rapidly. That was how they did that. Through morphing. Really cool technique. And then it would be used later for Terminator 2 Judgment Day and Star Trek 6 The Undiscovered Country. Or that was the character that can transform into other people. What do they call them? Shapeshifters?
Yeah, they had a name for them, but I don't remember. The Iman character. But I just checked again. Both Remember the Time and Black or White had the morphing technology, where in Black and White is morphing people, and in Remember the Time he didn't turn into a panther like I remembered.
What was it?
A puma. Sorry,
Puma. Yeah, Puma.
But there was a technique where he was sand, and the sand morphed.
I remember
into
that one.
Character, and then he morphed out of this character.
Yeah, it was a 3-point transformation. I remember now.
Yep. Yeah.
Great video. If you've never seen it, go check that video. Both of them out. One obscure bit of trivia: Richie Cunningham directed this film, and Chuck Cunningham acted in it. Yep, that's true. His older brother from Happy Days. We were talking about that earlier before you got here, when Keith was still here. This is absolutely one of my favorite moments, both with the trolls and with that fucking 2-headed dragon thing. God damn, man.
That thing is so ugly.
And that is Phil Tippett's department. Phil Tippett is so good with creating these kinds of monsters and making them move. And he used a technique called go motion animation, where in between movement, you shake either the camera or you shake the object and it blurs slightly. And the camera picks that up as it's transitioning. And it's called go motion animation. I love his fucking armor. And then that thing comes up behind him because they take off running, all scared. He's like, "Yeah, that's right. They're scared of me." Oh wait, there's something behind me in there.
He does look good in that armor, though. Come on.
And these things are so crazy looking with their bulldog jowls and shit.
Ugly as fuck.
I love that dragon. It's not a dragon, but I love that animal.
They call it something else. I forget what it's called.
It has sort of a rancor kind of a feel to it, but it's
Well,
not
he
really
did the
a
same
rancor.
technique. It's the same guy. Yeah, that's Phil Tippett, man.
Are you talking about that two-headed thing?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's ugly as fuck. What's to love about that? I mean, it's cool, but
I
No,
didn't
it's
say
cool looking.
lovable.
That's what we mean.
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
cool
that
looking.
love of effects. Yeah.
It's the
it's
fact
very
that
cool.
it's not your same dragon over and over and over again. It's something a little bit different, so it's a little
Well,
bit more
of
of a
course, because
refreshing thing.
it's not a natural animal. It happens to develop when you kill these other things. They just
The
turn
trolls.
into that when you kill a troll and drop him into water. Apparently, that's what he becomes.
No.
So
No. It's the same thing. The morphine magic of the wand, because Willow shoots him with the wand. The
Oh,
orc,
that's right.
or
And it transforms it.
yeah,
it transforms it, and he kicks it into the water as he's getting bigger.
That's right. You're absolutely right, man.
I thought being hit and dropped into water develops these things, but yeah, when the wand.
And by the way, he did a lot of his own stunts in this. Val Kilmer did.
Yeah, but I don't think he catapulted himself.
No, I don't
Into
think
a
that's him.
wall.
I think that's a stuntman.
No, yeah.
But a lot of the fighting and shit, the slipping and falling in the sled scene, all him. And Warwick Davis, by the way. I think he's held there against his will to do that scene. And by the way, if you've ever watched Warwick Davis's TV series that was produced by Ricky Gervais, I loved that fucking show. It was like he was playing a weird version of himself. Oh, they kiss. I love that scene. And fuck, man. Very romantic film. But Val Kilmer made an appearance on the show. And he played an asshole version of himself. It was funny. And I'm 1 degree of separation because my boss has worked with him twice. And they love him. Although they got annoyed with him when they were working on Alexander, because my boss was second unit director on Alexander. And he said every time there was a massive scene with Val Kilmer, he was always late to the set, making people wait.
That sucks. Being inconsiderate of other people's time is just a dick move.
Yeah, you hear stories of how dickish he is, and then you'll also hear stories about how giving and kind he is. And it's just like, sounds like he's a real person. It's like, I'm sure there are people that hate. I know there are people that hate my guts. I know people, and rightly so. They have every right to fucking hate me because I hate them right back.
Yeah.
And he's a character that I wanted to see more of. Growing and becoming a king. I love the fucking brownies in this. Fucking Kevin
There's so
Pollak.
much potential for a sequel there. Willow
Leave
as
it
a
to
warlock. The
Kathleen
girl
Kennedy
that-
to fuck that up.
Yeah, what becomes of the baby? So much potential. But no, instead they decide to put out shit and then whine and bitch because nobody goes to watch it.
By the way, in the casting of this, not only did they have to cast all these people, they had to cast them 1,000 pigs. For
Oh
this scene.
yeah.
Cast
right.
1,000 pigs?
Wasn't
Yeah,
it
they had to go
1,000 baby?
find 1,000 pigs for this scene.
Yeah, in the documentary, they showed how they did the makeup, but of course they couldn't do it on all of them. And also they didn't have latex or whatever they use these days. They,
Oh,
had a different-
they would be able to afford it. They could have done it through CG, but they didn't have that level at that time.
too expensive. No, and to do the real thing, like put masks on all these people, that would have taken forever. So they had to come up with real pigs for that.
By the way, Mephisto, you might find this interesting. I just watched a video by Corridor Crew, and they discovered that there was a company in 1976 that had come up with an animation, and you can watch it. Go to Corridor Crew and look for the video. They show the original video made by this animation company that did early CG X-Wings flying. And it's really fucking good. And he said, and he got upset about it because he says, that's not my X-Wings. My X-Wings are dirty and, look like they've been around for a while. And so they went, okay, we'll use that as a challenge. So they went and they did a single image for a poster for Star Wars of an X-Wing that was 600 million. I think it was 600 million pixels build in the 70s. That's
Good.
crazy, dude. They weren't even doing that shit in the 80s. But here's the irony of that whole thing. The company that did that, well, the company that did this, Lucas really liked these guys and kind of spread the word about who they were and allowed them to use that footage they created. And they were the guys who made the effects for Disney on The Last Starfighter.
Oh, okay. I got it.
That's the same guys.
You know, the problem with The Last Starfighter is it looks good, but the story's weak.
The story's weak. It's the Arthurian tale, but not done very well. It's got great characters in it, great character arcs in it. It's got, I would say, very dated but good effects. Oh, here's her transformation. Finally, he finally figures out how to get her to come back.
Yeah, the release. After it turned her into like a monkey, a banana, a mouse.
Because he didn't have the confidence.
An ostrich.
You need to believe that you know what you're doing to be able to do it. And it took him a while.
And again, the weird part is later on when he was in Hogwarts, he said the same thing to his students.
Yep.
Absolutely. That's how this happened. Absolutely. Because Cocoon was the last film and he was still working on it. And the whole thing happened because they met and talked at ILM while they were doing the effects for a film. Good luck finding it now. Cocoon, one of the best sci-fi films, comedies of the 80s. And nowhere. It's not available on Amazon. You can't get it anywhere.
Well,
makes sense of that.
There's always a place where you can get Cocoon.
Well, you get it. You can find them. We know how to find stuff like that. But I'm talking about getting a legal. Why is there no 4K of that? It's insane.
Because it's not worth it. People don't. I don't get it sometimes. I talked to Tom about it a while back, and he's like, "Yeah, they're just not releasing anything from the vault." And I told him, "Look, okay, I get not releasing it on home video or streaming or whatever, because it would be, let's say, less worth for the companies that buy that, because they would have to pay royalties, and the amount of subs that they're going to attract by having that movie is not enough to pay for the royalties. I get it. How about taking it out for a screening for a couple of weeks or a one-time special screening? They just don't do it. They just don't want to do it.
And this is a film that, was shot on a meager $17.5 million budget and made over $85 million at the box office. It was a minor hit. Not a massive hit, a minor hit. It's a hit because...
You mean Willow?
No, this movie. I mean, the movie we're talking about, Cocoon.
Oh, okay. Because Willow was like 35 million budget.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Cocoon, the movie he was editing while doing this one. Because that's what we were talking about. And so I brought up that it was shot on a meager 17.5 million and made its money back and then some. So there he is, Kale up there shouting demands and orders.
And he's shouting, nerds!
No, he's shouting, thou shalt not pass.
Thou shalt not pass. Or, we are the knights who say me.
We've already got one.
Got one rail, yeah. So you've already got one.
What is this witch you have beside you? We've already got one.
I love also that John Cleese, as the annoying Frenchman, says the word Knigget. And what people don't know that, yes, that's a play on the word knight, but that is actually the old English way of saying the word knight is Knigget. I'm not shitting you. Go back to the old English from the 10th century.
But okay.
Go look it up. It's funny. Poor Laura Dannon. Grandma wants to kill her. Everything's a big fight to a brownie. I also love how Sorsha switches teams on this and follows her heart.
I do love the armors in this. They're not your typical armor, and
there's no date to them. It's very fantasy oriented.
It's fantasy,
and I like it.
And with Sorsha, it's like she's brainwashed by her mother, and going on this journey, she realizes her mom is the bad guy and the others are the good guys.
Yep.
Yeah. She has that "Are we the baddies?" moment. Yeah.
And then
I want to point out
that she has feelings.
Right here is a good moment to pause because there is such a mixture of cultures in the designs of these armor. Hers is clearly based off of old Japanese armor.
Yeah, with the large helmet that goes all the way down rather than just being like a skull cap.
Yep. And the same thing with Kale. His has that flare as well.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I love the armor in this.
Man, Bad Morta is wet. She is wet as fuck.
Yeah, they sprayed that shit out of her right before they started shooting.
Yeah.
Or as Monkey would say, she's moist.
Fuck off. You had to
Not
bring
moist.
that up.
She is damp.
Thank you. Much better.
Oh boy, this guy's gonna get it. I never understood the sword that is on the hand, that it goes all the way around and you can always have, like, you're always attached to it. It's pretty much debilitating when it comes to sword play.
Yeah, you can't do any wrist movement with it.
And that comes from the fantasy rather than real life stuff.
It's not practical at all. No, you're right.
It's a real fantasy sword.
Yeah, Alpha. My daughter hates that word, which makes me want to use it around her. I'll find excuses just to say it. It annoys Anima. She hates it too.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's almost like I wasn't here. I fucking hate that word too. I share that with Zoe.
Oh, you bring this up, Monkey. It's so funny. As a joke the other night, I didn't upload it here. I made a truncated version of Arachnophobia for Anima. It shows the opening credits super fast. You can see them go into the mountains. You see directed by, and then it cuts immediately to the final scene in the end credits. And I said, That's the version I will get Anima to watch. That version.
And by the way, there's no need to make me watch that because I watched it in the cinema with my sisters. I looked away.
Did
with
you
the
see
smile,
Arachnophobia?
No.
Oh,
the
then you
Harry
could
Potter
watch it
thing.
again. Oh,
No.
Harry Potter.
The Harry Potter thing. I took.
Yeah,
my
this is where
sisters
his
to the
old
movie.
friend dies. He has to say goodbye to him.
Yeah, if you're afraid of spiders, Arachnophobia is the wrong movie to watch.
Duh.
I had arachnophobia, and I went to see it in a theater when I was in the Army, and I wished I hadn't done that. I couldn't finish my drink because I sat on the floor. It was one of those old theaters. There were no cup holders. And I ended up tucking my uniform pants into my socks because I was so freaked out with the tiny spiders. Good damn it, that fucking freaked me out in that movie. I would consider this a dangerous set. He's the best part.
Best in that movie.
He's like spraying it, and you're just like, what? And then finally he just stomps it because you can't kill it with the spray.
Yeah.
But that stair scene I would consider very dangerous because they did the fight scene with a lot of moisture. I've never seen the TV version, but so often when you see a TV version, you get to see additional scenes that wasn't in the original theatrical cut.
You would think that the TV version would have less scenes, but it sometimes.
Often they'll remove stuff that might be too violent for TV, but in making up for the time, they'll get additional scenes. So that's why you get these TV edits that have more to them. The Dune did it.
Well, it also.
I love this scene where he tricks her with a fucking sleight of hand gag. Makes her
TV
disappear.
Can get you more if, for instance, stuff is cut out for the US and then they release it for TV in Europe, and yet they can show much more. So.
This scene is so good. Gene Marsh has really nailed this part where he tricks her, making her think that he has sent Elora Danan into another realm.
Oh yeah,
she's like
the
impossible.
Trick.
Yeah, it's coming up here. I love it. It's great, and it gives the other witch enough time to do what she needs to do. You stupid hag. I think Alpha's asking you that question, Anima.
I was just going to address that. It's not much better in German, to be honest. That's just the same. It's an annoying word.
I love that. That what she gets this she's like confounded, impossible, and lightning and oh fuck! I love this scene. And by the way, the electrical effects that were done in this really well done.
The fun thing is that on the market where he performs his tricks, he fucks that one up because he makes the pig disappear, but then the pig runs away and he has to run after it to catch it. And
shows the hiding place.
And, yeah, nobody's taking him serious, but since it's a baby and wrapped up, she can't fuck it up. So he pulls off the trick. And actually, the actor as a kid was interested in magic, and he really enjoyed learning some of the tricks for this movie. Like the burning arrow that he puts through his arm. He learned tricks, and he liked that.
And by the way, Mephisto, if you've never seen that show with him, you should check it out.
Willow?
No, the show with Warwick Davis, where he plays basically a version of himself. I'm trying to find it for you because that thing fucking cracked me up, that TV series. Ricky Gervais produced it.
Oh, I know the show. I know the show.
I'm looking for it right now. Life's Too Short, starring Warwick Davis as a version of himself. It's a comedy.
Oh, okay. I thought of a different show. There was a show he did after The Office. I don't remember if it has like a couple of seasons where everybody on the show is a weird version of themselves as actors.
Yeah, exaggerated versions. Yeah.
Yeah, like Daniel Radcliffe is there, and
Well,
Patrick
I think he's
Stewart.
in this one, and it's called Life is Short. I just put the link in the private chat
Sure.
if you want to look at it.
I-
And Ricky
I have it
Gervais
marked.
produced it.
Yeah,
I like
have
the
it
one
marked.
where Liam Neeson comes on. It was really fucking funny. Extras is the other one Ricky did early on. Yeah,
Extras. That's the show
I love
was
that
talking
show.
about. Extras is the show where like there's a main sort of guest on the show, and that's like it's not really a up to 11 kind of a thing, but every single guy on the show, especially like Daniel Radcliffe, plays the sort of opposite of what you expect him to be. So he's the opposite of Goody Two Shoes. He's obnoxious.
Oh, it's what's her name from Titanic did the same thing on the show. She's foul mouthed.
Yeah, like whatever
Patrick
you
Stewart
think
plays-
their image is.
Patrick Stewart is like really a weird dude.
No,
He's so
Patrick
weird.
Stewart is a weird dude.
But he's even
just-
weirder on the
Yeah.
show. He plays an even more exaggerated version of himself.
He used to be my captain.
Same here. I loved him. But Captain Kirk's mine. But I did like Patrick Stewart, but he's becoming shithead, and I just it's a disappointment. It's not like I hate him. I'm just disappointed with him. I expect better from him.
Same. He is so not the captain that he portrayed. There's some people that you probably guess, yeah, it's not them, but it's kind of a version of them, one facet of their personality. Jean-Luc Picard is not Patrick Stewart whatsoever.
No, and what's his name? Matt LeBlanc was one where he played a version of himself on that show on, I think, Showtime, about the two English writers that come to America to adapt one of their shows from England as an American series with Matt LeBlanc, and it's fucking funny. I watched it all the way to the end, and I'm like, I didn't want that show to end. It was so fucking funny. And LeBlanc is just a shitheel, and he's a womanizer, which is the opposite of what he really was back in that period of time. And he plays this womanizer who's just banging everything. So good show. Anyway, I need to thank everybody that was here. Jacob the Critic, my buddy here in Missouri, was first in the house. Monkey Jeebus, Real Wade Nation Gaming, The Ungrateful Jester, Peter Vinkman Fanside, also known as Vinkman's Girl. Larry Bird was here. Man.
Gotcha again.
Yeah, you did that last time. Cam's Crash Courses.
You're a dick with this stuff.
Yeah, he is. Cam's Crash Course was here. He showed up early. Great to see you, Cam. Snorty was here. Hello, Snorty. And yeah, it's still doing it here too, Penny. Parrothead was here. Of course, Penny. Our good friend Bush McFan is out of the hospital, and he is here.
Thank
Canadian Spider-Man. And you know what? If you're in Canada and you're Canadian Spider-Man, aren't you just Spider-Man? Like Canadian bacon is just bacon in Canada. And Shirley Levasseur, an old friend of mine. We've been friends for a long time. Great person. Love her.
You don't need to
FKT,
point out how old you are, Gary.
2005, our good buddy Tim. D. Bud Martin, Dragon Ruse, Acres of Movies, Das Wolfen, 11 Alpha, Gambit 1987, and Hail in Place. And of course, my personal friend, Mike, the Comic Relief Crusader, was here. So I want to thank everybody for being in the chat. I want to thank Keith for being here today and talking about the show for a bit. And of course, Mephisto, thanks for popping in and sticking with us, dude. I was kind of
For
expecting
sure.
you to bail after a while because I know it's late there.
It's a Friday evening, so the question was if I could actually be here, not if I could stay for the whole thing. Because if I'm here, I'll probably stay for the whole thing on a Friday evening, because I don't have to get up early in the morning to get to my actual job. I do
Lucky
have
you.
work
I
to
have-
do. I do have
I have
work to
work
do.
tomorrow, so that sucks.
Well, like I said, I do have work to do, but it's not work. It's sort of fun. I need to sit down, get my ass to write stuff, watch another movie.
But you don't
Prepare
have
a
an
show.
alarm.
helps you sleep at night, bitch.
Exactly.
And
But yeah.
in the little words of Peter Griffin,
Well, about time for me to be hitting the old dusty trail. I like your hat. Can't get out that way.
I like your hat.
Wow, look at how many black eyes there were there.
Oh my god.
Lot. It was a lot. So that's it, guys. We're gonna get the hell out of here. Thanks for being here. You guys take it easy, and remember, we will be back tomorrow. I guess John's doing a show tonight, Das Wolfen. It'll be at 8:00 Central Time. That'll be 9:00 Eastern. And those of you Mountain Time, move somewhere else. That'll be 5:00 Pacific Time. So if you guys want to, is that right? Or no?
No,
2 hour
I
difference.
think
6 o'clock Pacific Time. So anyway, everybody stick to it. Everybody have a great day. This is the last TGIF, by the way. TGIF is going to go away. This will be another one of the, we're just going to be doing movies on this channel. And I will start doing a Friday morning show. Plus, I'll be doing some Thursday shows, which includes Kung Fu Fight Night, where we're going to have some martial arts experts that I am friends with come on, and we will discuss a movie, a martial arts film, and we'll determine how great it is. So there's that. But until then, I want to thank everybody for being here. Thanks again, Mephisto. Thanks, Martin. Thanks, Anima. Everybody have a good Friday, and we'll be back tomorrow. Have a good one.